Good afternoon, everyone. Wanted to wait for the bell to go off so my speakers wouldn't interrupt us. So welcome to our live event. My name is Matthew McCora. I'm going to be your host, and I'm excited to bring to you what I describe and what I teach is the rapid profit method. So we're going to get deep into strategy concepts that some of you may be familiar with pieces of it, but I'm going to show you a way to put together some very simple yet powerful tools to identify the next pending breakout. If you've seen me before in this event, it is a pleasure to see you again. I recognize by the names here that I am familiar with you, and we've met in events like this before. And then for those that I haven't met, I'll introduce myself more formally in just a few minutes. But before we get there, I want to ensure that everything's working properly with the audio and video. So at this point, if you can see a slide that says sound check, and you can also see the webcam and you can see the slide and hear my audio, then let me know by going into that question section now and saying hello. Let me know that all is firing, and then that way we can jump right into the good stuff. Everything you type is private, so rest at ease. If you have any specific questions about your own trading account, things like that you don't want openly shared, you can let me know and I won't bring it out to the open, but I do want to make sure that you know that I'm here for you. So I enjoy teaching. So whatever types of questions you have, I'd be more than happy to answer them. And if I don't know the answer, I'll tell you. I'm humble enough to know that I don't know everything, but I will find the answer for you if I'm not aware of how to answer it. All right, so it looks like Kathleen, we got Alan, and looks like we got the rest of the gang. There's also commenting. So I don't want to spend too much time reading everyone's name. So I just want to get at least the first couple recognized, so that way we all can rest at ease knowing that everything's connected well. So what we're going to be talking about and really diving into is addressing momentum and trend patterns. Combining volume, which is you're going to learn is the real momentum behind the market, and trend patterns, we're able to identify consistently when stocks are about to break out. Not only stocks, but exchange traded funds, futures contracts, and other major market equity classes. So the strategies are going to be viewed vertically. Okay, so I'm going to talk about a concept of vertically being aware of the pattern as well as momentum, and that's going to help align the overall strategy. To give an idea of what we're into, we're going to be talking about both bullish breakouts as well as bearish breakouts. And these are a few of the signals that I've sent out to my traders about key breakout opportunities. So to let you know, I do run a full service signal program based on the rapid profit method I'm going to be teaching you today. And so these are a few of the most recent trades that I've sent out, both bullish and bearish opportunities. Now, if you don't know what a long put is or how to trade it, don't worry about that. Effectively, we're taking advantage of a bearish move in the market. Instead of shorting a stock, this is Pepsi in front of us, I buy a long put, which is a form of options trading, and it allows us to take advantage of downward price movement and be on a buy side, okay? But this is 82% profit in just 10 days. What you see here on the left is the actual trade details of the exact instructions for this signal, all of which I'm going to share with you today or over the last few weeks. I'm not going back months and months and months and showing you old trades. I'm showing you the most recent activity that we've identified and actually sent out to our traders. So when you look to the full detail, you'll see what symbol we're trading, the strategy, we bought a long put, we had the expiration identified, we had the strike price, the premium limit on the option trade. Now these three price points below, the stock trigger, stock stop loss, and profit target, is how we manage the trade. So we have a specific price that we want that market to go, or this Pepsi stock to go down. If it goes down, we then buy it. Okay, so I'll explain that as we get deeper into the concept. But I want you to be aware that everything is laid out in front of you. Here's a couple more of these recent trades. This is Devon Energy. This is a long call for 94% profit. So we saw a bullish breakout, took advantage of that movement by setting up a trade and catching it. Duran Corporation, same thing here. This is a long call, 120% profit in 30 days. Here's another one with gold. This is another put trade. This is not the precious metal. This is the gold mining company called Barrick Gold Corporation. Identified a pending bearish move to the downside. Caught that trade too for 65%. Now, when you find momentum and the precise pattern that sets up the breakout, you can find trades like this. This is new holdings, NU holdings. This is a one-day trade. Caught the entry, caught the profit target, all done automatically. So you're going to learn some unique ways to set up trades, to catch trades today. So as far as results here, this is the last few weeks. So in the last few weeks, we have a 71% winning percentage. The net profit, that includes winners and losers, is 367%. Now, the way you use a percentage like this is you use it as a factor. And it's based upon, if you want to know what that means to you, is take your average investment size. So an example here on the screen, if you were traded $3,000 per trade following these signals, that comes out to $11,000 in profits. That's not including the $3,000 into the trade. That is on top of that investment of $3,000. Now, over 2 years from now, I've been sending out signals like this, and in that time, captured over 3,500%, and that's net. That's with winners and losers. So this is here just to show you that breakouts happen in all types of market conditions. If you go back to August 2020 to where we are today, we're basically at and near those same price points that we had back then. So we had a massive recovery coming out of COVID, and then since then, we've given a lot of that back over the last 10 months, 11 months now. Okay, so rest at ease. The strategy I'm sharing with you works no matter if the market's a red day or a green day. Now, before I get too far down the road here, I see questions coming in, so I'll jump in and answer those. But initially here, I've got to make sure that you know that trading in the financial markets carries risk. This disclaimer is common to what you'll see in any properly run financial education company, is we have to disclaim this. So the way I think about this is, let's be adults and recognize that if we're going to participate in a financial market such as the equity market, then we can lose money. So please rest assured and please focus on only using risk capital. That's money that you can lose and basically keep food on the table and keep the roof over your head. Now, this is what we're going to focus on, really 3 overall concepts. Number 1, my goal is to give you simple and repeatable steps to trading. It's not valuable if I sit on my side here and try to wow you with the most complex ways of trading, because my goal is to empower you. So what I found throughout my experience is that if I can lay something out simply and let you see the process enough where in a few weeks you can repeat this yourself, to me, that's the goal, is to empower. Now, if you're in this event today, it's because you're either actively trading the financial markets, or you're sitting on cash waiting to get in the market, or you're brand new, you don't know where to start. Now, many people would describe you as crazy if you're new and you're starting now. I think you're really smart, because most money's made in a bear market. Most people just don't know it yet until we get out of it. Okay, so it's definitely a great time to learn how to get involved in the markets too. But just remember, we're here about return on investment. So you're going to see strategies. I already showed you recent results as well as long-standing results, that we're here to produce returns in the market. So if you haven't met me before, I just want to spend a few minutes here. I don't like talking about myself, but for those that don't know me, I think it warrants a few moments to let you know my background. So I started in the financial markets back in 2007. So we're pushing over 15 years at this point. I had a unique start into the industry, unlike most people, even maybe yourselves, where you pay to learn how to trade. You either pay through the School of Hard Knocks, or you invest in a company to help teach you the market. Well, the opposite was laid out for me. I was paid to become a trader in the market. So at the time, it was the largest financial education and trading technology company. Started off in online events just like this. The company 15 years ago was one of the pioneers of teaching, in the online webinar space. So learned early on the ability to chart, to technically read patterns from a manual technical basis. And then over my career, throughout those experiences, I've moved my way up to become the chief revenue officer of that company. Now, the access that I had in that role was tremendous. It gave me access to understand what it's like to support traders from all walks of life, from all over the world, tens and tens of thousands of traders in my career, because I was responsible for customer support, client services, revenue, of course, because it's in the title. And it also put me in control of the product creation, services like trading rooms, educational products, systems, technology. And so I really had a master class in all the different ways that people leverage tools in the financial market. But with that experience, I found over time that the goal was revenue, and all we ended up doing was just coming up with new products, new services. Sometimes it looked just like the one we launched 2 months ago, because if the goal is making money from a company perspective, it's hard to really drill down and really help the individual like yourselves. At least that was my experience. So I decided to walk away back in 2018 and decided to take a short break from the market, from teaching and coaching, and I got the itch and I came back. But I decided this time around I would do things differently. So I began to reach out to my network of people with like minds and decided to form a new company. And so since then, me and my group have been able to work with thousands of people and providing them services that I couldn't provide before, because now our focus is client results, and that's where it begins. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of a history of why I'm here today, where I come from. Some of the assets that I bring is that I have the inside knowledge of what it's like to teach, to coach, to create products from a small level to a high level. And what I found is that if I can take away some of the biggest hurdles of trading, and for many, it's manually drawing, it's manually analyzing the market. So I'm going to walk you through today a strategy that's helped hundreds and hundreds of traders today understand how to develop identity analysis, which I call understanding where the market's going to go, understanding how strong is that market trend, and then from there, how do you take advantage of it? All right. So that's what's in store for us, and that's a little bit about me. Of course, if you have questions, let me know. But ultimately, this is my promise to you. So by the end of this event today, you will know how to identify clear breakout patterns, just like the ones I shared earlier on the screens of those charts. I'm going to show you exactly how that was found, and then how you can find those into the future of your trading. The second promise is that I'm going to give you a strategy of how to set up your trades, both entry and profit and stop loss orders at one time, that automatically take you in and then automatically take you out. That is a powerful way that I found to help people disconnect themselves from the market emotionally and to be objective as possible. And the third promise is I'm going to actually give you my step-by-step trading checklist today. One of my 4 most favorite and most often used checklists. I'm going to give that to you. I'm going to teach it to you. I'm going to show you exactly how it works. So at a minimum, you're able to walk away and apply this philosophy to your own trading. So with that said, I think it's now time to jump into the fun stuff. To me, that's working the charts. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to transition out of the webcam, so we have more real estate and more focus on the actual content. And then I'm going to pull up our charts and we're going to begin breaking down this strategy. All right, so I'll see you on the charts. All right, we got some great comments already. I love the comment. Konduru, I love it. Indicators and oscillators always adjust according to show positive results in back testing. Yeah, so what's interesting is I don't use my indicators oscillators to get me in and get me out. You know, I love that because that is a strategy that people use. So they'll come into the strategy tester and they'll load a strategy up and then they'll tweak it until it looks good. Mine are real-time trades, so I definitely know exactly that marketing tactic. So I can appreciate, and it seems like you may be around enough to have seen that firsthand and felt that frustration of people showing results of the past, you jumping in and you can't replicate it. I get it. I've been here a long time. So you're going to like this perspective. It's totally different than what you're accustomed to. All right, so let's do this. This is TradingView. Okay, this is just a charting software. You do not need to have any fancy paid software. In fact, I'm anti high cost software. Much of what I found is that much of the software is really built on the same process and same overall technique. So from somebody on the inside that's worked with some of the top technology in the space, a lot of it can be found and actually used better with the method I'm going to share with you. And that's just personal experience, but you could be the judge of that. You know, the software that's $200 a month, $400 a month, things like that. I like to keep things as straightforward and leverage the most available tools and indicators that you've ever heard of before. Okay, so I am anti high paid software. All right, so with this, I'm going to take you through a little journey. Now, the setup I have here, as you can see, as I get rid of my list here for a second, this is the S&P 500. This is the symbol's the SPY, okay? This is one of the most heavily traded and often analyzed, probably the most analyzed symbol out there. Now, what I'm going to do here is just walk you through some of the basic concepts here, but then what I'm going to do is I want to take your stock picks of choice. I'm going to ask you here in about 5-10 minutes to give me a list of stocks that you want us to use in this event. So that way we can make this custom to you in the room. Okay, so just think of those stock symbols and then I'll ask you here in a few minutes and we'll pull them up. We'll create our own list together and then we'll apply the concepts I'm sharing with you to your picks. Okay, so we'll do that here in just a few minutes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to just take a step back here on this chart. I'm going to clear out some of this analysis I had earlier in the class. I'm going to turn off these indicators. I'll come back to them. The number one thing we have to address, the most difficult aspect that traders face, is knowing, are we in an uptrend or downtrend? So when you think about technical analysis, in my experience, a lot of people think about staring in front of your charts all day and then drawing on charts, trying to identify direction, support resistance, retracements, extensions. And then of course, today, people like to use indicators too, okay? So all for a simple goal, which is to understand what's happening so then they can take advantage of what's gonna happen next, right? Understanding the next move is obviously what we're all about. So the first thing is we need to understand what type of direction are we in. So in the top left corner here, this is my most used setup here. So I have a moving average here in the top left. It has a 10, that's a 10 day. This is a daily moving average. This is a 20 day. And then I've got a 50 day. The blue's the 10, the yellow's the 20, the red's the 50. They're trend lines. They're price trend lines. They're objective. Okay, so I'm gonna clear out the 10 and 20 and let's just look at the 50 day for a second. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna break the market into 3 types of trends. We have a long-term trend, we have a midterm trend, and then we have an inner trend line. Okay, so we're essentially going to be leveling in and weighing our direction with 3 total trend indicators, but right now I'm just going to start with the longer one, which is the 50. Now, many people are going to say, well, what about the 357 or the 5711? Well, sure, those are definitely indicators, and those are moving averages. Those are lengths of moving averages. But so when I come to this setup that I have, it's used because it puts me in patterns that are usually about 3 weeks long. So my average hold time in my signals, and those signals are not indicator generated. Okay, so the performance that I shared earlier, those are identified using the method I'm sharing with you today, which is not an indicator that's telling you to buy or sell. Okay, it's just a piece of the puzzle. It's not, you can't run it back and generate a return on it. Okay, it's a manual pick, and then I send it. Okay, so this is trend. First thing we're going to do, remember what I said, momentum and trend patterns. So the first thing is, let's talk about the trend. So what we're going to do is look at where we are now. Okay, so to the right of the screen, furthest part is the most recent data. Okay, that's all this is, the data. You can put this in a spreadsheet, or you can display this visually like this. Okay, it's the same thing, it's just data. So if I look to the latest day, you can see here, it says we close at 373.20. Okay, there's the close price, it's in red. Now, if I look up, this is the 50-day moving average. So what this is an average of the last 50 trading days. It's the average price. So if we're below the 50-day price, that means that we are in a downtrend. Okay, we're trending below the longest term trend we have, which is 50-day. When we're above it, that's the reversal point. So we go from down, we flip, we go up. Okay, down, up, down. Okay, this is our largest time frame. Now you can see all of these reactions at and around this 50-day through this recovery uptrend all the way through to the beginning of the year here. And then when we reversed was back here, beginning of January 2022. So at this time, let's type in your random stock picks. So I'm going to create a list. Everybody type in now, type in one, just one. I mean, if you have two, okay. I was in an event yesterday and somebody typed in 10 stock symbols. I get it. You like to have a VIP white glove experience, but there's a lot of people in this room today. Okay, so my Investor Expo group. I usually have a lot of fun with you all, so let's keep it going today. So here's our list. Just type them in. Make sure it's the symbol name. It makes it faster to load. All right, we got Tesla. Oh, we talked about that earlier today. Valero. Oh, we got two Valeros. Robert says Oxy. DraftKings, NIO. Let's see what else we got. Okay, I guess we'll do that one. Goog. What else we have on the list? Okay, we'll do some Apple. All right, this is AAPL. And then we have, okay, this will be the last one. All right, I think that's plenty. Well, let's see. You got me right at the last minute. So Upstart. All right, watch how we're all going to identify trend the right way. I know it's the right way. You don't know yet, but you will by the end of this. I can guarantee that. So what's Tesla doing? Downtrend. Valero, uptrend. All you're going to do is look at what is the relationship between where are we at versus where that trend line is, the 50-day. That's all we're doing. Who's trading that one? Is that the right one? Or is it PEGY? Like that is Pineapple Energy. I like that company already. I love pineapples. All right, let's move this up the list. Okay, we got Pineapple Energy just flipped to an uptrend. DraftKings, downtrend. Do not let the fact that we're close to it steer you the other way. Okay, that's a downtrend. I'm going to dive into that in a second more further with you. Downtrend. Wall Street 30. Interesting. I haven't seen this ever come up in a client request, but it's a downtrend. Google's a downtrend. Apple's a downtrend. NVIDIA downtrend. Upstart downtrend. Okay. Just in a few minutes, we're all on the same page. Okay, now watch. Let's start at the top with Tesla. Where do you think we want to be buying Tesla? At what point of this movement here, from this arrow to here, where do you think the best place to be buying Tesla was? And I'll tell you, the answer is the most simplest answer. So from this point here in June 21, all the way up to December 10th, where's the best place to be buying here? Right? Hoku says retouch. Yeah, that's one. Okay. What he's saying is every time it comes down here and buy again. That is true. Okay. I'm talking about the best place. Davis got it. Davis gets my gold star. Usually I give out a couple, so he's at number one so far. The reversal point. The reversal. So when something's going down and then it breaks the trend line. Okay, this is called counter trend lines. Okay, so something's going up, it comes down, and then it goes up again. That's a trend line break. That is where you'll get the largest percentage move. Because remember, if we're just looking at this long-term trend here momentarily, the trend went from here all the way through until it closed below, which was back here. Okay, so over this 174 days, 54% price increase for Tesla. So would I buy it here? I mean, you would have made some money if you knew how to get out, right? But you're not maximizing this move. The maximization of the move is at the point of reversal. Same thing on the downswing, right? If you want to short or buy puts, right? The reversal point. So instead of going down to up, when it goes up to down. Down, up, down, right? This is where you see the big bars. Look at how big that move was at the reversal. See these big red bars show up? Big red bars show up, okay? Big green bar down here that kickstarted it. One of the methods and I guess overarching mindsets or adage is this. We want to catch, not chase. You've heard me use the term, you may not have picked up on it, but you will moving forward. Catch breakouts. Catch, not chase. Let me give you an example of chasing. Oxy. It's Occidental. Ignore these orders for a second. You see this reversal point here? We were down and then we came up fast, right? See, chasing Oxy right now would be buying it right now. It's already started this upswing. That's chasing. Valero is probably the same place. Where's Valero? Yeah. See, this is actively moving already. It's running up. We would be chasing if we just bought that right now. The issue with buying into an active move is you don't know when this is going to end. In fact, you won't really know it's going to end until it actually ends. So if I scroll out on Valero, if we came here and you wanted to be the chaser and you saw this taking off, you may have, maybe you subscribe to some of these newsletters that charge you $2,000 for the year, right? And you get like one, pick a month, but it doesn't tell you when to get in or when to get out, right? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Those newsletters exist, right? But then there's no real management of the trade. It says, oh, this is the buy, and they give you this whole, 5-page write-up on, for, let's say it's Valero, and they tell you, oh, this is all the money they invest in, ... All right. How many of you have heard of those types of reports, those programs? I'm just curious. All right. Those are widely used. Okay. So this would be a chase because what happens is we don't know that's the end until we start to get the signs of the end. Right. And this is where you may not believe it for those that are new. This is where people get in trouble. You start chasing things that are running, and then this is the whiplash. It's called whiplash. Some may describe it in more profane terms, but it's not a good place to be. So if you can walk away today, this is the if, of understanding that this is the time to be buying and seeing it right in front of you, that this is the time to be buying at this point. What these points are are after a retracement. Okay, so that's after a pullback, then we buy back in, right? So as Hoku said, touching, right? It's another way to describe this support found here. So when I look at this run here for Valero from the beginning of the year to somewhere out here in June, like mid-July out here, okay? Identifying this leg, the money leg, okay? Not buying in the active side, buying at the initial reversal, waiting for the next extension. That is what you're going to see today, okay? It is a vertical look that allows us to see that. All right. You know, it's amazing some of these events, you get some odd perspective sometimes. So anywho, all right, so with this, I'm going to be sharing this process, okay? Because as we look at all of these different movements and charts, the missing piece here, I'm not going to get to the 10 and 20 yet, okay? I'm just going to focus on the 50, and now I'm going to come down to volume. All right, so watch how this comes together. There's one thing to me that means more to measure the optimism and pessimism. Now, this does not require you have a degree in psychology by any means, okay? All you're going to have to do is look at columns and a trend line. And I'm going to show you how to measure optimism and pessimism. So I'm going to turn on volume. Now, I have some questions here on the actual setup here. So let me show you this. So if you want to see a clearer shot, so inside of GoToWebinar, if you exit the full screen mode, you'll see a camera button. So exit the full screen mode, don't log off, then you have to log back in. But all you have to simply do is hit the camera and you'll be able to take a screenshot here. So remember, I'm here to give you as much as I can give you in the time we have allotted. I don't keep anything hidden. I'm going to show you everything I got. Right. The trader setups on the left here, these are the settings, 10-day moving average, 20, 50, and then volume, you have a 20-day moving average. Okay, so I just wanted you to be able to see it standalone so you can take a picture if you want. So coming back to the charts here, this is the volume indicator below. Now what we're measuring, what this actually is measuring is the number of shares traded in that time frame. So we're on a daily chart. I'm on DraftKings, okay? So that means today, DraftKings had 15.48 million shares traded. This data box here on the left, right next to the VOL 20, see how it's constantly moving based on my cursor, okay? So what happened today is that there was 15.483 million shares traded. That's bought and sold, okay? Think of those as transactions. That's the number of transactions in the number of shares. That's the units of trading activity. Without comparing today to an average, it's just a data point. So we incorporate a moving average to the volume, so it gives us an ability to measure very quickly high volume days versus low volume days. An inarguable fact means you can't argue against this fact. It's how the market works. Now, I would love to hear an argument on it, but I've yet to hear one. When there's more buyers than sellers, which way does the price go? Does it go up or down? It goes up, right? Okay. When there's more sellers than buyers, price goes down. When there's no buyers and sellers, price goes flat. Okay. Low activity typically means right side price action. Okay. Well, what if there's a lot of buyers? In fact, what if there's more buyers than normal? You think this price is going to go up slow or fast, right? It's going to go faster. That's momentum. When there's more sellers, a lot of sellers, than buyers, price goes down. Okay, so look back here. Here's a good example. See these big old bars on DraftKings? Drop 35%, 3 days. Look at all this volume. 41 million shares. The average was 22. So double the selling double the volume. Where was it directionally? It was bearish, right? Let's go to NIO. Let's mix it up. Doesn't matter what we're looking at. I use this on every type of investment class. So from stocks, ETFs, micro cap stocks, mega cap stocks, Forex, crypto when I trade crypto, futures, old school futures versus E-mini futures. It's all about chart reading, okay? So what you're going to be able to identify is a vertical look and feel. Because the question that I want to answer is, how do I know when is the opportune time that this is going to take off? Wouldn't you like to know, right? That is the question. So watch this alignment. I don't want you to think left to right. See, most traders think in terms of left to right. Okay, so I'm looking horizontally. What I'm here to talk about is how you can vertically identify these opportunities. Okay, so I'm going to take you and start switching your eyes to looking up and down. What that means is that we're going to be looking at where we are at the pattern, at the trend, and then we're going to look down below to see and answer, do we have momentum supporting the movement? Okay, because I talk about this often in class, but there's a lot of subjectivity around trading. So subjectivity, right, is where there's interpretation required, right? It's someone's opinion. Now, I have no problem with opinions at the right place and time. What I want to try to do is be as objective as possible. Okay, so focus on the objectivity, which is math-based, so I can remove as much of the indecision and subjectivity from this. Okay, so I'm going to just downplay this line so we can see data behind it, but I just want to keep it in the background for us. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you by using the back in time machine here. And then we go one bar forward. In fact, we actually can go back further. Let's do this. Let's go back one more bar. Remember the correlation. When we're below, this is a downtrend. See, we're below the moving average. This is a reversal point, right? We're down. Now, we just broke this trend line. Did we have above average volume? You don't have to look at the data, but you can look at the bar, break above the moving average. That is the surge we're looking for. You see, if it's a low volume move, then we don't have momentum behind it. You just can't trade on the top. You can't trade on the top half and understand if there's momentum behind us, right? What you're going to find is that we need to be where the money is. Many of you have probably heard that before. When the big money hits a stock, hits any symbol, we want to be there. Okay, so how do we know that they're trading? Well, we've got to see activity, and we want to see activity pick up, and we want to see activity surge. That's the tell. It's a vertical up and down look. We want to know what and where are we at in the current trend. I already talked about being at the point of reversal. So if I keep it here, watch how this plays out. We want to get confirmation that we are at a reversal. So anytime now we start building up above it, right, we're confirming and building up more of a base. You're then going to start to see additional confirmation. So we had our first move here, right? But then look what happened a couple days later. Did the volume increase again? Type in yes if you see that big green bar below. You see how it's bigger than the last, looks like 30, 40 days? Look to the left there. You all see this? Okay. Watch what's going to happen to this chart. See this price move? Okay. This jump alone, this one move, it looks small because I'm zoomed in, right? That's a 30% move. 30%. It's not 1%, it's not 2%. That's 30% in 8 trading days. If you could find these types of opportunities by yourself, would today be worthwhile? Of course, right? This is exactly, I'm going to go back to those trades I set up for you, right? These are the ones that I sent out, fully tracked all the way down to each individual ticket, okay? Because I'm going to show you exactly what these look like, because this is just your random picks. Coming over here to the previous examples, let's pull up this one for a second, okay? Actually, let's do this one, okay? Look what we see here below. Now, this trade identified, this is what's going to be interesting for you. You see, this is the stock, but you see over here, this is an option profit. Okay, so what we effectively do is we identify these breakouts on the underlying stock. We then translate this into an actual trade ticket to trade the option. See, most people spend their time, if they trade options, down in the weeds looking at individual option chains. So what we do, we try to find breakouts. I'm not going to try to find a breakout in the option chain. I want to find the underlying stock that's going to break out. Then I'm going to go pick the option of that underlying stock. So we take this and translate this over. So you can trade the stock if you want, but this is an option trade, but we use the underlying stock, okay? So look vertically, surge of volume. This is after a retracement, boom. So we sit and we want to catch. This is the ideal place to be right at the initial reversal point. Second best place is after a retracement. So I actually have filters that you can use on any screener of your choice to find these every single day that you want to trade. You can pull up a list of stocks that are at appropriate patterns to find trades. So coming back to our list here, I just want to show you the application of how you can be flexible and trade stocks outright or translate it down to an option trade, all using the same top end method. Because if I want to make money on a long call, buying a long call, then I need the underlying stock to go up. And I don't want it to go up a little bit. I want it to go up a lot. That's what leverage is, right? I want to take advantage of that. I don't want to have to put up thousands of dollars to own the stock. I can actually just trade the option, right? That's some of the benefits to trading. Let's pull up Peggy. I don't know. I like it. Pineapple Energy. Anybody know why this surged? Huge volume, right? 135 million shares yesterday. The average is only 7 million. Okay, that's volume. Volume breakout. Let's go to Apple. Both bullish and bearish. Look vertical. We were up, down, big red bar. Time to buy puts, times the short, because this is about to go down. Right? We already know what happened. It went down. That's surge of volume. Same thing on the upside. Has everybody seen this vertically, or do I have to keep going back in time? Right? I could just use my box here. See what happens when you see a pattern break. This is a great example. So we come up and break the trend line. Look down below. We're under volume. They have to align vertically. If the pattern breaks with no volume, I call that a bull trap. B-U-L-L-T-R-A-P. Bull trap. I'm not saying the bad word. It's a bull trap, because from a pattern, you say, oh, reversal. I'm not interested in just reversals. I'm interested in a momentum breakout. The momentum is the most underutilized indicator for retail traders. But you can't use them independently. It's the combination of identifying them together that helps us get on the right side at the right time. So the volume is flat here. It's not until a few days later that we actually get the volume met. So what this allowed us to do is to have patience, because from here we would have to deal with drawdown. Not a lot, but it's still drawdown. You're talking about 2.5%, but more so than drawdown, when people see right way movement, apprehension grows. You don't have to raise your hand and say me, but I know because I deal with it. You buy something and next it goes flat and you're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen here, right? I'd rather see up or down movement than buy and get something go flat. But with patience, with the vertical alignment, this now becomes the convicted breakout, because now volume plus pattern, that kickstarts this run, both up and down. Same thing here. See this move down, low volume. Now this takes longer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. 7 days. Okay, there it is. And look how immediate and fast that move is. It could be any stock, anything that you could trade and watch and review. You will consistently find preceding a big move at the reversal, you will see volume there to help build momentum. If there's one indicator that I use, it would be volume over even the other indicators. Let me know that this is making sense. Because if you can understand this piece, this correlation vertically, then when I add in these other indicators, all they do for us is give us more confirmations. So I just want to show you the high level, and then we're going to draw down, not our profits. I mean, we're going to move down these other indicators. Okay, so let's now talk about the 10. And I'm going to get rid of price for a second. Let me hide the candlesticks. Right now with Tesla, the 10-day is the blue line, okay? These also have turning points. They're trend lines. They're different data points. There's a 10-day, which literally is the shortest trend that I use. And then we're comparing that price to the 50-day. So I've got a closer time frame, the last 10 days, compared to the last 50 days. So the first movement up or down, the first action we're going to see is the most recent, which is the candlesticks, right? What happened that day? Open, high, low, and close. The next thing we'll see impact to price action is the 10-day. So we have a built-in 10-day lag. The comparison now against the 50-day is where we start to see more confirmations align. So when we see the 10 now start to move up on the 50, what that is telling us is that the 10-day recent price movement is now on the uptrend, while the 50-day is still moving down. So it's showing us the flip of that 10-day now coming up and over. So now we've got a 10-day trend that's now going bullish. So when I overlay the candlesticks back on here, you're going to see that we had the first sign back here. So if I go back here and just show you this, watch the order in which this happens. So the first sign we get is this reversal where we were down, now we're above it. So watch what this 10-day is going to do. We're going to get support. So even though you've got to have some understanding of support resistance, I'm going to try my best today, but support holds up price, resistance pushes price down. These trend lines are support resistance. Okay, they're just angled based on the average prices. When we're below the 50, that's resistance. When we're above the 10, that's support. And they flip. Okay, so we'll be above and below it, and they tell us a story. So watch how we break resistance and then come back down to support. Right? We open and then we close back above support. Close price is most important price. Now we open on support and see we're starting to push up. You see this 10-day coming up towards the 50 that's coming down? It's riding support. That gives us the momentum to start building up. So this lag here gives us an opportunity for support to be built to allow this to build and come up above that 50-day. And then eventually that support breaks. Look how hyperbolic this is. I'll teach you how that looks. See how it comes back down and then comes and flips. So this was support, nope, resistance. Now I'm going to pull up the 20-day. So the 20-day is intentional. It's in between these. The reason I don't use 25 is because in my filters, you can't use a simple average 25. Okay, so I use a 20. So that way I can search stocks based on this pattern automatically. So now by introducing the 20-day moving average, let me come back to this movement again. There's the initial one. At this point, the 10 and 20 are both below the 50. But what's going to happen is you're going to start to see this battle between the 10 and 20 and the close price battle it out inside of here. Okay, so we already saw that support. Look at the 20-day. You see how now we have the 10 and 20 working together to hold up price. We open here, we close back up here. This is all one day, right? Same day bar. 10-day, 20-day helped to push this base up to break. Another bounce off the 20 again. Bull said, not so fast. What you're going to see happen, even on this hyperbolic move up, you're going to see it's going to come back. It comes back to the 10. See how we flip? It's flipping again. See, the bulls want to get it above trend. Bears are battling here. The thing holding back the bulls is we've got a lot of volume. Oh, we got another test. Double top resistance here. You're going to see this come down to the 50-day. Bounced off once, closed once. Up, support's trying to hold it up. Nope, we got resistance of the 20-day. Oh, now we flipped again. See how support's now trampoline. Did everybody see this correlation between the bars, the 10, highs and low support resistance? You don't need to master it today. I just want you to see how those bars are reacting at and around those trend lines. So what I want you to think about is the more confirmations we have. So right now for Tesla, let's go to the current price. We're not only below the 50-day, okay? We're below the 10-day price. We're also below the 20-day price. There's 3 overarching resistance points holding down this price. The farther away we go from the 10-day, the farther we go from the 20, and then especially the farther away we go from the 50, means that this is a very strong downtrend. That's all this means. When I put this together, I'm looking at a correlation up and down of where we're at. So for Tesla, this is chasing. There's no reason to short this or sell this yet, because eventually this is going to end and retrace up. Doesn't matter if I'm looking at Oxy, same thing. That's running away right now. This needs to hit a high, come back, and then we'll come back in. Peggy, same thing. This is going to come down and fill this gap. Nothing goes in a straight line. DraftKings, I talked about this earlier. I said I'll come back to it. This is a downtrend. We are below the 50. We're below the 20. This is the dominant trend, is this crossover here. The market does not go in a straight line. Extension, retracement, extension, this is a retracement. So if this is a bearish trend, the next likely move is not up here, it's down here. So understanding the probability based on where we're at in a particular trade is going to help you get on the right side of it. To me, this bar down here, if this had volume, this, I would be sitting below here with a short buy to put on DraftKings, way more so than being on top of this, because as I showed you how the 50-day reacts, you see it play out as support or resistance. So to come to a point where we can identify the next breakout comes down to understanding a relationship of this concept. If you can understand that the market goes up, it pulls back, aka retracement, it extends again like this. Okay, this classic model. The ability to understand at this point that this is a retracement, set up for the next move up, or the initial reversal point, that's the magic I'm sharing with you right now as we speak. So if we come to Occidental, this is one of your picks, it's also one of my picks. Okay, the difference of this is that I sent this out last night. I sent the signal out. This was the setup. Now we didn't have today yet. We just had yesterday. So you can see the volume right here over the last really 4 out of 5 days here. We were coming down and then we came up. So this underlying stock here, Occidental, was found using, let me pull it up for you, was found using a specific checklist. Now, to give you an idea of the details here, this is the simple checklist that I've been talking about. This is just one of 4 main checklists. This setting here, it says trading view filter settings. This is how you can load up any screener of your choice, stock screener. Filters. You can use trading views, like I have it, or you can use Thinkorswim, Charles Schwab, Fidelity, bar charts, stock charts, TC 2000 or whatever that is, right? There's lots of software that has screeners for free, right? You don't have to use TradingView once again. What this is doing is using the exact concept I shared with you today so far and searches the market to find pending breakouts. And then from there, I look at the list and I find which one I want to trade. This is liquidity. I'm going to walk you through these filters and what it tells us. Can everybody see that green, or do you want me to change colors? I see it fine on my side, but sometimes to go to webinar, it's hard to see. Let me know if I need to change this color. I'm drawing here. So there's actually 2 liquidity filter sets here. Thanks, Kathleen. So the volume, what this says is I want you to think of this, only looking at stocks that blank, okay? We're only looking at stocks that trade over 1 million shares a day. That's what this filter is. That's liquidity. I want to only focus on stocks that I can buy and sell at ease without worry about not being able to. Okay, that's liquidity. That's daily. That's today's activity. This next section here with an L is average liquidity. Okay, so I want to see stocks that only trade at 1 million shares on average a day over the last 2 months. Okay, so I want to focus on liquidity. Now, relative volume, I use to find momentum. That's an M. Momentum, I use relative volume. That is a fixed data point, fixed formula with TradingView. And the formula is a measurement of the daily activity versus the average. So when you see above or equal to 1, it's a factor. That means that the stock must have traded above their daily average. Remember the trend line on the volume indicator? This finds those for us. If I put 2, that'd be double the daily average. Now to the right is pattern. I want to see a positive stock for the day. I'm trying to buy. This is a bullish checklist. So on a bearish checklist, it's inverted. This is buying. Right? So the change price, I want to see a positive move because I'm looking for a green bar to buy after. And then this last filter is also pattern. So effectively, I'm letting this formula of this filter setting search through 7,200 common stocks and giving me a specific list that meets these criteria. So I don't spend hours and hours and hours looking at charts. The only reason I do that are days like today, where I have a meeting with you all here today, and then I had a meeting for 2 hours at 12. Okay, so that's the only time I'm in front of my computer this often trading, because I'm teaching. Other than that, I don't look at the market until the market's closed. I'm gonna explain that in a second. So this is the type of checklist that I pulled last night, and last night's the keyword that put me in front of Occidental. Put me here on the chart. I didn't have to know about this. I didn't have to go through and dig through all of the different stocks in the market. Didn't have to follow any crazy talking head show and jump on whatever opinion they have. Okay, I use the data of what actually happened, right? And then from there, deploy the checklist. Now, you've heard me say at night, and that's intentional. So I trade after the market's closed. That's where I do 90% of my trading. And there's a couple strategic reasons, and then there's a big psychological reason I do that. Okay. From a strategic standpoint, I do it because there's less noise. I don't have to worry about the ins and outs of the daily movement that's happening. I'm going to see how the day ended up. I'm going to remove the noise and just see, okay, what actually happened? What, didn't almost happen, but what actually happened at the end of the day? So if I look to the end of the day, we had over 25 million shares traded. Okay. I know that's what happened. I also know that we broke the trend line. We confirmed with another bar higher. Okay. So we're now flipping potential direction here. We were down, now we're up. That's what happened. Nothing can go back and change that. It happened. So from here, I identify entry orders, stop losses, and a profit target. Now this profit target is using a method called a price forecaster. That's something I'll have to teach you later down the road if this is something you like. And the only reason I did this method is because this is all-time highs here. Okay, so I don't have any prior data back here unless you go way back here, right? I don't want to go back to 2018, 2019. Okay, to me, it's too far back. So effectively, I had to forecast this movement using math, but we'll have to share that with you. That would, I think, be a little too complex to start. It's simple to implement, but it's hard to walk through in a short period of time. So ultimately, I identified, and I'm basically following the checklist, okay? So step one, once I identify the stock, is I've got to set my entry. Now, what you'll see this entry is this $68.17. I'm gonna get rid of this post trade. There we go. So in blue here, that's the entry, 68.17. What you'll notice is the high of the day, and this was based on what happened yesterday. Okay, so I sent this trade out to my traders with these instructions. We're going to buy a long call, show you the option, but initially we're going to be taking an oxy trade using the underlying stock. So we're using the stock data to set up the entry order, to set up a stop loss, and to set up a profit target. But what you're going to find is that this entry is one tick above yesterday's high. The reason that is because I want to confirm the price is going to break out. So for the price to break out, what do we have to see? We have to see the price go up, okay? So this method is one of those unique strategies I promised I'd teach you, is how to set a trade up and automatically manage itself. So I want to set a pending entry because I don't want to buy it just willy-nilly. I want to confirm that that price is going to break out. So the only way to confirm that is price goes up. So by sitting on top, it allows the market to come to us. We're not going to go chase the market. So when I'm setting trades up in the evening, in the manner I'm going to show you, I don't have to be there to pull the trigger. I don't have to push the button. For those that are busy, don't have the luxury to be in front of a computer all day, which is usually the majority of people, this allows freedom to spend 10, 15 minutes following me if you want to start off doing that in my service. And I'm going to show you how that works. It's super affordable. Don't worry about the cost. But it's a method that I use in 90% of my trading. So this is what the stock setup was. The actual ticket of the trade looks just like this because I track everything. So we took this and translated it using a simple step-by-step process. And this is the exact ticket from our tracking account. Well, that's new. Let me get the right one. That's a different stock. All right, here you are. There it is. Okay, so here is the Oxy trade. Now, if you don't know or never have seen this before, then I'm glad you're here with me. So what you're seeing here is the actual ticket of the trade I sent out. Okay, so this Oxy trade has contingent orders. Buy one Oxy. This is Occidental. They should probably change their name. Okay, so Occidental, 18 November expiration, $67.50 was the strike price. The condition is what determines if this trade fires or not, if it's executed or not. So this is a conditional order that will execute the buy if Oxy marks at or above 68.17. Where'd I get that from? That's one tick above the bar high. That's the first order, the entry order, when it's the buy moment or go moment. It's all pattern based. So when we look to the next two orders in red, those are my exits. So this is an OCO. One cancels the other order. Okay, that's the order type this is. So we're able to set up two other exits. So the green is the entry, the reds are the closing orders. So you can see I'm going to sell my contracts if Oxy marks at or below 62.80. That's my stop loss. I'm buying a call. I want it to go up. My other exit is my profit target at $80.56. So when the trade is entered and you hit send, the buy order will then say waiting conditionally. The next two orders are pending. These two red orders only go if the first order goes. So then what happens is the market catches and enters into the trade all automatically without being there to push the button. So setting it up, catching the breakout, making sure our trade's protected on both sides of the equation is the rapid profit method. That's the cornerstone of leveraging pattern with momentum, then knowing precisely how to pick your entry, stop losses, profit target. You don't have to trade the option, but if you want to, I then translate it for you. I'll teach you how to translate it yourself if you want to do this with your own trading. Eventually, I think you will. But all of this is done inside of this checklist. You see, you find the stock, walks you through, reminds you how to set the bar high. If you don't know how to pick an entry, unfamiliar with it, it's okay. I've got 10.5 hours worth of lessons that will walk you through how to determine entries, how to pick profit targets, how to set the appropriate stop loss. Then below, you have a very simple 4-step process to select the appropriate option chain. That is the checklist. Remember, my goal is to make things simple. The powerful process that repeats itself is that when there's more buyers, price goes up, more sellers, price goes down. The big price movements are found when you see the big surge of activity. So now when I show you these previous examples, here's the latest trades, just so you see exactly the type of trading and the type of detail. I don't just send you emails or text message alerts. We also send you and give you access to this tracker. So this is the tracker for the rapid profit method here. Okay. So here's the close trades that I shared with you at the beginning of the event. 367%. You see all of the exact details. Our most recent target was this Revance Therapeutics, 85% trade. All of the details are here, laid out for you. So you receive these alerts via text message, email, and then you have access to this tracker, plus a membership site with all the support and all the resources laid out for you. It allows you to see the tickets so you can double check your entries to make sure they're set up properly. Now, you don't have to have Thinkorswim or TD Ameritrade. I've got hundreds of traders, so we've got so many different brokers that people use all over the world. This order type is available in any major broker. They're not proprietary to Thinkorswim. So you have the initial order. We also provide the final ticket. So this trade automatically closed out. This is the exit being filled. So got in for $2, closed out at $3.70 premium. That's 85%. So that way you always have everything laid out so you can see exactly, number one, what the details are, full transparent details all up front, and a way to cross-check, to double-check exactly that it's set up properly. Once it's entered and it goes live, your trade is now open and managed by your stop loss and profit target. That was all delivered up front to you. That to me is one of the most unique aspects of these programs that I run, is that you get it up front. You don't have to wait for us to manually go in and change the trade, trying to focus on just, oh, I want to make 2% profit just so I have a good track record. Everything is done up front, so you can see precisely what the full order is before you get into it. Oh, I love it. Keller says, I'm up 240% with 5 Oxy, $75 call. Yeah, what expiration do you have? Yeah, I mean, if you have November expiration, you should be good. This is based on November expiration. Yeah, that's the same one we have. You should expect some resistance here at 75, but this is just starting. So this is going to retrace eventually. As long as we stay above this 50-day, it's going to maintain its bullish sense. This is one of the highest probable trades I've come across recently. When I show you these prior results, right? If you're able to follow along with my cherry pick, you already see my results, right? It's going to be worth the investment. But to give an idea, the people that I love to work with are those that also want to learn how it's done. I have no problem just handing you my picks and having you follow. I really love when you participate in my classes, you show up, because what happens is you evolve, and then you can really exponentially increase your performance because you're able to not only follow with me, but you're also able to find other opportunities. there's only so many I'm going to send out. I'm not going to send out 30 trades in a day, because then what happens is you're going to have to pick which one to take. And I don't want you to cherry pick the cherry pick. So the way the program works, and I have a lot of questions about this. This concept that I've shared with you is not new. Okay. Many of you have heard about moving averages. Many of you have heard about volume. But my perspective and unique way to put it together is an everlasting experience. Because the way we anticipate the market today and the way we analyze the market today is not what we were doing 5 months ago, by any means. So with the current economic position, this is more so important than ever to understand where we're going to expect the road bumps, not only on a high level like the S&P 500, but individually down to picking the stock. Because you're not only going to know when to get in, you're also going to know when to wait, because it's not the ideal time. That is the big ever evolving transition that you're going to have. I had my first, we've been having an open enrollment for the last 2 weeks. We're coming up to the last, 24 hours of this open enrollment period. I only have an open a certain amount of days for people to start new, because what happens is I want to be able to take all those people that start in that time frame and take them all through the similar journey, so people aren't just coming in randomly. So I create what's called a Market Pro Live Club session. It's live trading and trading every week. And I like to have people in buckets so it's easier to teach and make sure I'm covering the right topics. So open enrollment does not last forever. It's not an ongoing open enrollment. So let me explain the enrollment process. You're gonna love what we put together for Investorexpo today. So the program itself is straightforward. You do not need to have anything to download. You don't need any complex strategies, okay? We're gonna send, I say we, I'm gonna find and identify my cherry picks. So I send out stock trades as well as options trades. All of these key pieces are delivered to you via SMS, text message, and then once again, you have access to the tracker so you can follow along. The results, these are not months and months and months old. Sure, since August, that is. This is the last few weeks. This is not just today, it's not just yesterday, okay? Being able to find breakout opportunities, no matter if it's a red day or green day, is what you're gonna learn and be able to follow along with us. You need to have, this question comes up a lot, so I'm gonna address some of the most common questions quickly. You need to have an email that you whitelist our name. You gotta whitelist my email, so that way when I send it to you, we can ensure it comes to your inbox. Number 2, I recommend you sign up for the SMS text message. And then number 3, you need to have a good computer with good internet so you can receive access to the tracker. You can get on the tracker on your phone, tablet, laptop. It's easily read on any of those devices. And then of course you need a trading account. You need a trading account. To follow along with me, you need at least at a bare minimum $2,500 bare minimum. Ideally it's at least $3,000. Okay, but once again, remember risk capital. If it's not time because you don't have the finances, then that's fine. We'll be here. Experience on options trading. To me, the less you know, the more you know. I have the curse of knowledge, over 40 plus option strategies. So if you don't have in your mind enough options experience, don't worry. I've included a special bonus to handle your options experience for you. So don't worry about the experience. We've got training and ongoing training to help you understand how options work. All right, the signal program, the official days, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. I send them out at night. So Sunday night, I take a look at what happened the last week, and then I send you signals Sunday night, between 7 p.m. Eastern and 9 p.m. Eastern. That gives you 12 to 14 hours to put that trading idea and load it into your trading account. I give you all the rules. I give you all the instructions, okay? I find that to be plenty of time. You can do it before the market opens in the morning or do it that night, whatever's easier for you. Now, if something really jumps, I'll send out other trades. Like I sent out a trade on Wednesday, off schedule. But as long as you have the SMS, as long as you have an email, you whitelisted us, you'll get notified of it. Doesn't matter if it's red or green. I already showed you bearish opportunities, bullish opportunities. You know, just because the market is bearish doesn't mean it's ideal to be buying puts. So I'm going to teach you all about that. Regardless of up or down, we're going to look for the breakout pattern backed by momentum, make sure we have enough profit target, make sure we have the right implied volatility, and then we'll trade. To me, when people ask me what's the big difference here, number one, it's going to be the transparency. As you saw today, I don't hide anything. There's no secret system that I just put a fancy name on and call it my own, or, you know, these are public domain indicators. A lot of people think it matches other people's. Well, because moving averages are used, right? But the way I put it together, not only combining the stock breakout, but also being able to find the best appropriate option chain. When we hit those targets, you're going to see the pullback. That's because we got a good target. Okay, so obviously the track record's there, but ultimately to me, outside of that is transparency. And then the bonuses I'm going to give you allow you to actually learn this and not just hope I do well. You're going to actually know exactly how I do it. And that to me is what's most exciting. So the program itself, I just want to show you what the details are. Look at this. I mean, here, this is a trade from Ford, but you see full details, just like as I showed you. Here's a text message, so you can trade off the phone, go right up to your broker account on the phone and place the trade. You know, whatever is easiest for you. You know, that's why we wanted to give you all these different ways to get the trade. So you can make it easy and just follow along. You can learn how to do it, and you can do both. Like I said, I'd like you to do both. You're going to get more out of this if you do both. You don't have to become a master trader to do what I do. If you understood the concept today, I'll fill in the gaps. It usually takes a few weeks to really grasp it all. So we're not talking months, a few weeks. Now, for many, this may be a new process, and I appreciate that. For those that are experienced, there's a high percentage chance that you've bought a similar type of service and you weren't satisfied, and then you had to jump through hoops to get out of it. I get it. So for us, we're going to keep the simple thought process going, and we're going to make this as simple as possible. 30 days or less. So for me, my clock starts today. Between now and 30 days from now, if you're not satisfied for any reason, we will give you 100% of your money back. No questions asked, no hoops to jump through, no worries about somebody to call you to try to badger you and save you. Okay, it's not how we are set up, and it's exactly why we don't have a super high enrollment fee to start with us, because we don't have an army trying to force people to stay in something they don't want to be in. So once again, both bullish and bearish. Pepsi short, long on Devon, another long on Drawn Corp, short on Barrick Gold Corporation, breakout to the south. So if you can make an extra couple thousands of dollars on an investment less than $300 for the entire year, would that be worth the investment? I think the answer is yes. So this program is email alerts, SMS alerts, access to the cloud tracker. To sign up, you need to go to Rapid Profits, plural, so Rapid Profits with an S, method.com. It's on the bottom of the screen. Don't go there yet, though. I've got a special opportunity for Investorexpo today. Don't jump there yet. Just get ready to go. On top of that, so on top of the Signal program, I'm going to give you access to my Market Pro Live Club trading session. It's twice a week live, about 2 hours a session, total about 4 hours a week, usually about 4.5. Included for free. I've sold this, offered this. People signed up for $1,900 for a year for this program. I'm going to include this for this group today. I'll explain more in a moment. Bonus 2 is going to be access to my empowerment toolbox. So since 2007, I've been putting together the tools that I have found to be extremely valuable to help people like you and me achieve success in this market. And it evolves. I add stuff to this all the time. Inside of this toolbox, it's lessons on the strategy I share with you today. It's access to my special watch list that we use every single time we trade, and all the other various tools at our disposal. I'm going to include that for you. Bonus 3 is our Options Mastery Academy. This is where we fill the gap on any options trading knowledge that you feel you need to have or maybe not aware of. There's over 40 plus option strategies here that you're going to have access to in this special bonus. Now, one of the most important pieces of the puzzle, it's also most often taught and most often utilized, is a sound money management strategy. So I want to make sure you have this bonus to follow along with us. There's lots of unique and powerful ways to leverage our entries and exits to ensure that we can guarantee profits on some of these trades based upon how we set up our exits. So I'm going to share that with you there. So the first bonus, this is our Market Pro Live session. This is twice a week live. This is where I was earlier today. I mentioned this already. I was there for 2 hours, 2 hours and 10 minutes. Broke down the big indexes, the SPY, the NASDAQ, the Russell 2000, the Diamond. Talked about oil. Oil was on the top of our mind today. And then from there, we went through a long, detailed strategy walkthrough of how to take advantage of the pending oil big breakout. So we went through various strategies. In fact, if you sign up today, I recommend you go watch the archive. It was a powerful session based on the feedback in the room. Had a huge room today, lots of great questions. So starting off, you can actually go right to that event that we had today and catch up in just a few hours. You'll be right on top of what's happening in the market. But I love this. This is where I get to teach and coach you through all the different market conditions that we've experienced today and then into the future. But I'm going to give that as a bonus, right? This is the detail of the program. The Empowerment Toolbox, you get access to all my checklists, and I add there all the time to different checklists on different types of conditions. The course agenda that you see on the right, that is 10.5 hours of pre-recorded lessons about the overall strategy. So using the moving averages for trend direction, momentum. I only talked about high volume. Low volume also tells a strong story for you. How to find entries, profit targets, stop losses, all laid out, all pre-recorded, ready to be watched. We've sold that and taught that for $1,500 to $2,000 before, and I'm going to include this for this group today. Options Mastery, how to read option chains, then 40 plus different strategies of options trading. And then, of course, money management. In fact, with proper money management, you can put yourself in position to guarantee profit on trades. And I'm going to show you how to do it, not subjectively, but objectively. That's one of my favorite pieces of the money management training. So all in all, program is up over $8,600. This, for this group, and for you that really enjoyed what you saw today and want more, at a minimum, you want my picks. To sign up, it is $299 for the whole entire year. That also includes your 4 bonuses that I mentioned to you. The reason we're able to offer this is because, as I said with our guarantee policy, we don't have or need or want a huge army of phone sales reps, huge marketing people, huge marketing teams, because what we do is we leverage your results. Because when you're happy and satisfied and you're developing and you're growing and you're empowered, you tell people about us. And that's how we're able to keep this price 10 times lower than similarly offered and sold programs in this industry. So all I ask of you is that you tell your friends and family, coworkers, a stranger at the grocery store about your experience and pass on our information. And we can keep this price where it is. But I told you I had a special, but you got to take action, and you need to take action right now. The first 10 that go to rapidprofitsmethod.com and types in the MAT100 into the coupon code will save an additional $100. So what was once $299 is now $199 just for the first 10 though. Do this for me. If you're going to the page, type in RPM right now in the question section so I don't want you to miss out as you're filling out the form. So type in RPM before you jump to the web page, because I don't want you to miss out on the MAT100 code, because some of you may type faster, some of you may not. You have 30 days to go through this. I don't need your full commitment today. You're going to know within the first week if this is for you or not. what I ask of you is that at a minimum, you show up to one of my Market Pro live sessions, either Monday night or Thursday afternoon. And if you can't make it live, that's okay. Just watch the recording. And if you watch one and you have a desire to actually learn this market more than just following my signals, which to me is a bonus, right? Then I guarantee you'll be satisfied. It's very rare somebody that wants to learn and is open to this concept I've shared with you so far is not satisfied. The only reason that you may want to refund is if something in life happens, right? Life happens, I get it. But other than that, you're not the first person in this program. We got hundreds of people that follow me and this style of trading. So rest at ease there. For $199 for the first 100, this is an unbelievable offer, but it only works because we focus on results, and that's how we're able to work with partners like Investorexpo that understand who we are, that put us and give us a platform like this to put this out for you, right? We don't need all this overhead and infrastructure, so that gives us an ability to pass on the savings to you. So if you have any questions about it, let me know. I'll answer those, but I want to make sure that you don't miss out. So type in RPM before you go. I have got moderators right now watching the question section. Now it's a redirect, okay? So what that means is we use a URL to make it easy to get to the page. So when you type in rapid profits method, it'll take you and you'll see the URL change. That's a redirect, okay? It's on purpose. So don't worry about that. So we can keep this simple for you to find us. You don't have to memorize this super long, URL. It can be long. So remember, you've got to type in MAT100 in the coupon code, and we also have some additional specials on there. So if you go to that page, you can add on a couple other programs. There's the options profit generator, which is a daily options signal service. The rapid profit method is 3 days a week. So this is the page that it takes you to. Oh, okay. I thought we only had till tomorrow. Okay, so it looks like they put a couple days on here. That's good. All right, perfect. So 3 days. When you click on enroll, now all of this write-up, this is just additional information. If you need it, go, feel free. But when you click on add to cart, it'll take you to the checkout form. So simple stuff. You see the bonuses, you see the program up top, contact billing, this coupon code, MAT100. You see down here it says $2.99. When you click that, apply, it'll then take down your price from $2.99 down to $1.99. Now these two bonuses are phenomenal. If you want to add these on, you're adding on more signals. Like Occidental, that was a trade I found for this option profit generator group. Okay, so the rapid profit method difference between options profit generator is the rapid profit method also provides stock opportunities when the opportunity is right. The options profit generator are all options. They're daily reviewed, so we look daily at opportunities. Typically, they're lower priced option contracts. Our average is less than $3 a premium. Some are, 50 cents a premium. Some are, $6, but the majority average or the mean average is about $3 or less. That's normally $700-800 for the year. Okay, so this is month to month. So you're able to add that on. It's also under the guarantee policy. So if you want to add that and try it out, feel free. You can cancel at any time, of course. Now this down here, this special reports package, I wish there was a better way to describe this other than reports, because these, to me, when you look at the content, there's hundreds and hundreds of pages here. From insights of Warren Buffett and other top hedge fund traders, hundreds of pages on their strategy, why they pick stocks. You'll learn very quickly why Warren Buffett has invested so heavily in Occidental through these guides and reports. That's just one example. You'll learn about the 100x strategy that hedge fund traders are looking for, 100x. You'll learn that in here. This is normally sold for $199 or $197, I believe. So great price at $49, but that's for those that really want a hands-on and detailed perspective that like to read, you like to take notes, right? You like the content that you can see and feel on your hands. That's what these reports are. I mean, it's phenomenal information here. So great both bonuses, but you can add them on later. It just won't be for that price, but we'll have it available for you. But I just wanted to show you what it looks like so you know that you're in the right spot. Yeah, so as long as you're active with this, you lock this price in. The price doesn't go away. So good question. How many days do you hold the entry? I tell you how long the entry is for. So if it's the next day, I'd say it's only good for the day. If it's for the week, I tell you. So each opportunity is going to be different. The majority of them are next day, but there are some situations where we're going to let that entry stay for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. But I tell you what that is. So you're not going to have a position where you're in a trade, you don't know what's happening. It's in the email, it's in the SMS text message, it's also on the tracker. And then in the class, I review those too, right? So if you have questions on a trade or how to manage it, differently, I go through that. Just like earlier today, one of our traders in the room asked about Oxy and the profit target, right? And you saw me break down Oxy, said, well, what'd you buy it? November? Yeah, then this target is perfect. Okay, so those questions that you have about individual stocks, I answer every single week. But from a signal perspective, you have it all up front. It includes how long that entry is good for. Yeah, no worries, Brian. What'd be better, Brian? I'm glad you signed up. Appreciate it. But you can actually, in the ARCs, so when you log in and get your login credentials, it'll just take a few minutes. It'll be out to you automatically. Go to the Market Pro Live session. So you'll see a card that says Market Pro Live Club. And then you'll see an area to go to the archive sessions. Go to today's archive session and watch that. That'll get you a way better understanding of what you just signed up for. Yeah, so the options profit generator is a daily signal service, right? So this is 3 days a week. OPG is 5 days a week. That's what I call it, the OPG, but the options profit generator. That's 5 days a week. Now, it's not a trade every day, just like even the rapid profit method. Even though it says Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, if there's no highly probable breakout patterns, I'm not sending out a trade. But I'll tell you that we're not sending it. And the reason for that is because I don't want to trade for the sake of trading. The goal here isn't to hit some arbitrary number of trades. I want to focus on profits. So at high breakout opportunities, you can get 2-3 trades in those alerts. Low breakout probability conditions, you may get 1, or you may get a hold. But those are the scheduled times of communication of live signal, new trade, or not. I hope you guys can appreciate it. I don't want to trade just to trade. Anytime you're in a position that's not moving, opportunity cost builds, right? If we're stuck in a position and it's going sideways, it's not going up or down, we could be in other positions. So I don't like to get into a potential sideways trade. Now, you can't control all of that, right? There's no absolutes. But overarching, there are telltale signs that we are more than likely going to go to the right more than up or down. So in those cases, I'm not going to hold up equity in a trade. I'd rather wait for it to break out of that transition, and then we'll catch it later. But there's no reason to hold up equity. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, so just remember, whatever renewal you get, so hopefully you get the $199. If not, I can promise you $299 is worth every penny. Okay. Just in the last trade alone, just with the last trades alone, you'd pay for this no problem. I mean, you'd have to be trading less than the premium, which you really can't do. Looks like we got some aftermarket bearish moves on CBS, AMD. Yeah. If you watch today's Market Pro Live session, there's actually 2 of them because GoToWebinar had technical issues. So there's two, because I just shut it down and restart it. It's the first time it's ever happened. So there's two, you'll see two dated today. If you're new, I'd watch both of them. But if you want the money hole for the next quarter, meaning where we're focusing, then you're going to definitely watch the second recording that's in there, because we're going to be riding energy here really soon, really hard, like we did at the beginning of the year. So to me, we as retail traders are nimble. We're able to shift versus the big money. You know, when you're talking about like BlackRock, which is almost $1 trillion, I think, under management, something like that. Huge assets under management, largest hedge fund. They're down like 20, 30% in the second quarter, right? You can't move that much money fast enough to be nimble. But we, the retail trader, can be nimble. And so that's some of the advantage that we have over the big money, is our ability to flexibly move around to opportunistic areas. That's why you see us buy calls, buy puts, and those are over the last few weeks. So the last few weeks, we're still in a downtrend. The last few days in an up move that we've experienced is nothing more than a retracement until we break these previous highs that were underneath, right? So, I mean, we're able to come in and find these opportunities regardless if it's red or green. And the method that you're going to see me use every single session is the same method you saw me use today. I just have more dedicated time to take you through more of a journey versus, you know, introducing you to me and then going through the disclaimer, things like that. You know, we can just jump in, and I've got 2 hours to really walk through the market twice a week with you. So all you have to do today is really see how I broke the market down. Did you understand what I was saying, the language I use, the tempo I teach? Because the personality side of this is, to me, some of the most important pieces. Because overall, there's many people that have good track records, right? But can they teach someone else how to do it? Do they use terms and phrases and analogies to help a concept, right? So if you enjoyed that piece, you know, me taking you through a deep dive in this, that's going to be the more simple part. But if you can't relate, if you can't understand how I teach or the tempo, if you can't imagine hearing me for 2 hours twice a week, then, you know, it's probably not going to work too well. But that's just some of the experience I bring as, you know, a C-suite in a large educational and technology company. Is I learned how to teach and coach a long time ago. All right, yeah, so if you have any issue, I got my team here. So Keller, I see you're having a sign up problem. Okay, no worries. We'll send you a, looks like our support team is on chat with you. So we'll get you squared away. Yeah, it happens to me sometimes. I'm trying to make a purchase online, and the next thing you know, I've got to call my bank and let them know it's me. You know, I guess it's a good thing, but sometimes it can be a hassle. But, you know, I'd rather them do it and call me than, you know, worry about somebody else doing it. So sometimes they ratchet up the protections, and, you know, I could be on Amazon, and next thing I know, I get an alert. But we'll get you handled. All right, yeah, if you're having a problem signing up, make sure you type in your name, and then give us at least an email. If you want a phone call, that's fine. I got my team here that can help facilitate getting you signed up. So what I want you all to do, so we're going to be looking at and identifying an opportunity for a trading opportunity today. So when you sign up, if you have not traded options before, so when I showed you the signals and maybe you're not sure what I was saying or even what it meant on the signals itself, then I wouldn't rush into following a trade tonight. Watch, there's lessons on how to set up a trade and things like that inside your membership area. So definitely watch those. But there'll be plenty of trades. So what I recommend is that you set these trades up in a practice account or a demo account. Most brokers have it for you. So that way you can just get familiar with how to put the trade into the account. I don't want you to hit the wrong button. So just practice a couple times in a practice account so you understand how to do it. Obviously, we give you all the details. We give you screenshots so you could see it laid out, but still, if you're unfamiliar with it, I want you to practice it and feel good about it. Bring your questions back to me on Monday night and I'll show you and walk you through it. Okay, so, but there will be a signal tonight. I've already been looking at the market before we started. Could be 2, could be 3. I don't know. We'll see if we get a good opportunistic breakout. Well, we definitely hit our 10, but the good news is my team let me know that they have extended our 10 here. So that's good. Oh, awesome. Very kind. They don't let me do that person because then I would be giving everything away almost. I just have fun teaching. It's a strong passion of mine. I'm sure you could tell. I'm sure you all could tell. All right, so I'm going to put up some support numbers in case you need some additional help. So let me put it up on the screen for you so you have it. You can also text as well. So let me put this up for you. All right, there we go. So on the screen, if you need to, you can take a screenshot of it. You can keep this information. Now, when you signed up, you should by now have your invoice, your receipt, and then you should have a welcome email. That welcome email will direct you to the membership area. And then in about 20 minutes, you'll have a confirmation from GoToWebinar for your Market Pro Live webinars, which are Mondays at 7, Thursdays at 12. Same link for all the events. So you don't need to have a new link. Same link for Mondays and Thursdays. And like I said, if you have any issues or can't find the email, it could be in your spam. Unfortunately, we can't control if your Yahoo or your Gmail or delivers what you want. If you didn't know that, that is a real thing. They like to manage what you see, even without your knowledge of it at times. So safest thing to do is make sure you add us to your whitelist, so that way we can ensure we get the best delivery to you. All right, so at this point, I'm gonna leave the room open for a little bit longer, and that way, so if you have any questions, you can jump into the question section. But at this point, it looks like we've got, wow, lots of new clients. All right, perfect. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, it's been surprisingly, even I was caught off guard how much enthusiasm there is in the market to jump in and take advantage of these opportunities. So I'm glad to see an opportunistic group. It's been the last 2 weeks, been very heavy on the enrollment. So we've got a fantastic group. We had an awesome class at 12 today. Can't wait for Monday for you all to have your first experience. But remember, anytime you're with me in a session, there's no reason to be shy. Every question's a great question to me. No matter how basic or complex you may think it is, I'd rather you ask it. The only bad question is the one you leave with. Okay, so feel free, ask any type of question as we interact through our different sessions together. And I'll assure you, I'm going to do my best to provide everything that you've seen today and more as your resource over the next 12 months and beyond. So definitely excited for you. I want to wish you nothing but the best. Stay safe. Enjoy the onboarding materials so you can get ready on this new journey with us. So it's been a pleasure. If you're not ready yet, I encourage you, give this a chance. Give me 30 days and you'll be satisfied. And if not, you'll get 100% of your money back. So this price is real, and it's only made available because of events like this with partners who are amazing, like Investorexpo, that allow us to work with their group. So tell your friends or family too, don't forget. But I'll remind you when we're in our session. So thank you all. Happy trading, and I will see you live again next Monday at 7 p.m.